we do have millions of things to explain. So the search is done. So when finish the search, you can view it this way. If you don't like row and column position, you can click on that and transpose. If you transpose, you see benefits and the challenges are listed right here, and you see who said what. And so usually I can export again the Excel coding query one and see I can see what's happening here. Okay, and so matrix coding query one here. Students talk about a lot of benefits of providing feedback, and student talks about the what are the pitfalls of the of things like that. And so the first thing that I need to is to break down challenges and benefits as well. Okay, so you see a lot of row and columns, things like that, and then I can let me move this one here. And so let's take a look at the benefit part first. And so to benefits, because this is title, it should give you 0, okay? But later, so in Excel, I can total like that. And so got 0 because title. But if you scroll that down, you see the number here. The number here, students, number of students responded, okay? And so you can do this kind of things right here, like that way. And also talk about the challenges, difficulties of having feedback and things like that. I can put like that. And so, and if I check right here, I can see the total right here. And so to have the discussion, maybe I can copy this one and send to backside, and so that I can see the order. Remember last time we talked about the rank order, NOIR, remember that? If you are quite unfamiliar with it, man, I think you are going to have trouble, okay? NOIR, what's that? Don't remember? Okay, let's take a look at this one first. Well, students talk about the benefits here. Students talk about benefits for having feedback. Let's see, six students told me about the noticing errors could be the benefits from the feedback. And the second, two students from the lecture and test, they could get a lot of benefits out of here. And Naval English Dictionary. Okay, when they write, they refer to the Naval English Dictionary, which was helpful. So here they talk about the benefit of receiving feedback from me. If you take a look at the challenge part, they talk about a lot of challenges here, okay? So the challenges, abbreviation, they do have a problem with abbreviation, accuracy in general, and things like that. They do have a whole bunch of problems. So as an instructor, what can I do? Regarding the benefits, well, they praise me. They get a lot of the help from me. But about the challenges, those are the things that I need to think about, and I need to find out the solutions. Okay, so the most challengeable things for the learners are the title. Okay, number 4, title, and number 3, topic. They talk about problem with the title. Remember the girl who got the revision score 100, but she had no title at all. Okay, she had no title at all, man. And so from right here, I provide the suggestions, okay, regarding their challenge. Okay, if you do have a problem with the abbreviation, refer to English 2200, which is the supplementary textbook. Accuracy in general, if you are afraid of the accuracy in terms of grammar, organization, content, follow up the class and things like that. Again, appropriate words. I do have a problem with using appropriate words. Okay, why don't you? So regarding the suggestion that I provided, you saw it before, okay? Where if you go to files, right here, uh, right here, uh, students' voices for revision and my suggestion. If you click on that, remember this one? Okay? We saw this one in the beginning of the today's presentation. And right here, I do have a problem with the title. Refer to cubing and title, okay? Appropriate words. Why don't you take a look at the right word, wrong word, or things like that? Then you might wonder what cubing meant by me. Well, we have to go to LMS, okay? And let me show you the actual class. Every time the lecture was held, I monitor them and I provide them a couple of relevant feedbacks, okay? And so if you take a look at the intermediate writing class right here, the announcement here, I do have made a couple of announcements here, and also lecture material. If a student go to lecture material, here I talk about the cubing, okay? So talk about title, talk about the way how to write. So let me just look at the first part of the writing, cubing. And so click on that.
여러분은 이제 오늘요 좀 얘기를 좀 하고 싶은 것이 영작에서 정말 어떤 중요한
At LMS,
기초라고 볼
they
수
visit
있습니다.
there,
예를 들어서
and I
이제
told them,
우리가
watch this
초급
one.
영작문
And so,
현재 진행되고 있는 그
yeah.
속도를 좀
No,
보시면은
under the lecture
좀
material
생각할
here,
필요가 있을 것
they can
같아요.
see. So right here, I talk about
여러분들이
cubing.
이제
So what I meant by cubing, and I talk about the
라이팅 프리테스트에서
difference between English and Korean,
이제 일단 이쪽에
and I
있는
talk
어떤
about
그
how to
단어
create cubing appropriately for maybe many students are watching this one. I became popular in town, and then I can make a lot of money. Sorry.
돼요. 여러분들이 썼던 특별한 질문이고
My wish, yes. And so, well, if you are interested in looking at
단어
this
수에 대해서
one,
발만을 했고
can you
그다음에
go
정확도입니다. 이
to another class of
정확도에
mine as long
문법적인
as you enroll my class?
그래서 현재 여러분들 그
Maybe you can
성적이
visit my
유창도를 발견한 거하고
undergraduate course and things
정확도를
like that.
합친 것 그래서 나누기 2를
And so,
여러분들 현재 이제 장문 성적이 됩니다.
okay, so
기본적으로.
let me. Buffering, I don't know. Yes, see, maybe, yeah, okay. So here I provide them how to create cubing, make title, and things like that. So as long as they view this one appropriately, they should have written the the title. And for this one, if you look at this one, these are for major students. If you take a look at the viewers 100 and the difference, let's take a look at the liberal arts classes. I announced I provided the same data, explaining them how to create cubing and things like that, the same thing. And you see the number of the viewers here, 410. How about the major students? 100, which reflects motivation, okay? Motivation of the class, interest to the class. So here I can monitor, clearly about what's going on in the students' mind, activity, and things like that. Major students viewed 100 about the cubing. Non-major students viewed the cubing for 10. Okay? If you visit there, you can notice many things. And those are from not major English, but English majoring students. So because they are serious, I provide the suggestions to do first and last. For the case of the challengeable issues, like one student told me that how to start writing is very challengeable for her. And my response was, I don't know how much you are familiar with the Korean words, but my response was, 세월이 약이겠지요. Understand me? Which means if you do on, you will be better. And that's my response. And so some response are quite abstract, but some response is quite practical. If you do have a problem with the, choosing the right word in your writing, why don't you take a look at the right word, wrong word book first and exercise it and read it and refer the the book every time you write something. Let's say if you'd like to say something about the station, station does have many collocations there. Gas station, restaurant station. What kind of other stations can you?
Station.
Huh?
Work station.
Right, right.
Space station.
Space station. Many collocations down there. Possible collocations. And so for such kind of things, it's not easy to it's not easy to simply listen to the lecture, write a lecture, but they do need a practice. So again, let's take a look at the right word, wrong word. So for the student who have a problem with the choosing the right word in the right context, why don't you refer this book first and study yourself, which I cannot teach in a semester because this is not the main textbook. But for some students, they do need this one. Okay? And so I provide the address where they could get the book for free, but for the convenience sake, I provide them here the book. Okay, we are still in the beginning of explaining what we got here. Okay, so here in the files we do have right word, wrong word, reference for academic writing, my research memo, learner voices, one analysis. I just saw you, okay? So learner one voices. Oh, well, these are used by NVivo. So in the matrix coding query, I created row and column, row for students, column, their response in their writing, okay? And so my analysis is here. And if I click on the connectives, here what we got. Connectives used to be considered a very important one in writing. For example, you can say like first, second, third, and things like that. So in terms of connectives, many measurements are there. It's like CNCAR, CNCCAU, CN logic, and things like that. And number 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, I surveyed the 10 studies focusing on uh, core matrix. Are you familiar with the word core matrix?
Chromatic?
Yeah, core matrix. So
As a musical term, yes.
in terms of assessing students' writing abilities, a lot of people use core matrix. They provide 107 indices to judge a student's writing ability. And here what you see is the number 1 represents the a study. So there are 10 studies and they detect connectives, and especially under the name of connectives, they do have a CNC DC, CNC temp, CNC temp X, and things like that. And research 1 noticed such and such and things like that. So, okay, let me move on to code results. If you click on the code results, here what you see is the, I just pick up the descriptive. In the core matrix, they do have measurements. Okay.
How do you spell that? Chromatic?
Right here, COH.
Yes.
Okay. And so, okay, let me click on that. This,
Matrix.
yeah, this one explains. This one explains about the core matrix and what they may measure. First of all, descriptive indices. Second, text usability, and for later semantic analysis, things like that. They look at the syntactic ability as well as vocabulary. Okay, so they look at, you can take a look at the student's progress from pre-test to post-test in terms of vocabulary or in terms of lexicon. So connectives. So if you click on that, that explains about everything here. So one you saw here, this one is, I just chose one of them, and so there are 11 students there. I'm sorry, there are 11 indices under the name of descriptive, and the red one talks about critical one. So when you teach students, if if your students show development in the red part, that's great. And it's a kind of discriminator differentiating good and bad learners. Okay? So if you would like to make your teaching successful, you have to take care of. Among 107 indices, you need to think about those kind of ones. DESPC, DESSC, and the one here means uh, one study found this one, 7 study this found on, 5 study this found on. So for the case of 7 studies, DESWC is very important in terms of differentiating proficiency in writing. Okay, so if we take a look at closely at the data here, we can see 정혜영, 명원의, and blah 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 here, and so 5, 4, 13, things like that. In terms of DESWC and 7 studies, who are the best writer here? We got 244 and we got, okay, 332 right here. And so 332, student 332, Hwang Hyunji, bingo. So the girl we just saw. We talk about the meaning. We talk about her problem with meaning, but as far as the syntactic ability is concerned, she is found to be the best writer in the area of DESWC 7 studies point this measurement as one of the important criteria in differentiating learner proficiency in writing. Okay? So this one talks about writing one, but we are going to have three writings more. So what we can see later is the progress or digress in terms of core matrix. Okay? If you're interested in the way how I can measure core matrix, I can show you. Let me click on the Hwang Yanji here again. If I click on that, I can meet her, and core matrix pick up her, although she doesn't have a title here. Pick of her as the best. Okay, let me copy this one. I can copy her writing, and where should I go? I can go to core matrix, okay? If I click on that, because I usually do this, I bookmark this one. So if I click on the core matrix, right here, if you click on the core matrix web tool for free, and core matrix web tool, if I click on that, they ask you cut and paste the text here. So I can put Control V, and you see again this red bar talks about the feedback comes from here.
And NVivo doesn't do it automatically?
No.
Oh.
This is core matrix, and so
What does that mean?
this one says is often made where they hate passive voice, but well, if she wants to say, I disagree. No, royalty. The word royalty is kind of weird one. I don't think so because customer royalty is from the textbook. So I can discard this one. Think, suggest to believe. Instead of saying therefore I think, it says I believe. Okay. Yeah, I believe. Okay. And gives an opportunity to stand, allows standing. Oh yeah, okay. Great, significant. Oh, okay, if you like. And I can discard this one. And companies. Yeah, okay. And companies, okay. Done, okay. Rebate, refund, rebate.
No, definitely refund.
Yeah, right. That's what I think. So discard. So if you don't write, you can discard. Organize, contain. I think organize is the right word. Politics talks about the conjunction. Yes. Politics or that word not necessary. Okay, if you follow that one, nothing can stop you now. And so what you can do, then you can analyze this one. But before that, you put this one, and put this one, 6, 3, and have core matrix analyze the syntactic and lexical uh, measurements. So this is working like that. So once it's done, you will see the result right here, like descriptive, text usability, referential cohesion, and things like that. The one that I showed you before is about the descriptive one, And remember, the 7 studies support one of the most strongly supported one. I think this might be a DSSL or whatever. And so, full description, sentence length, number of words, things like that. So that way you can collect the data and then have core metrics to analyze syntactic and lexical ability. You got something strong, vibe, no, nothing, got nothing. Every time you teach your student, you can collect the data, writing, okay? Even speaking, you can tape decode their voices and change it to written text and have have core metrics analyze it. And it will give you 106 indices telling you that about the scores like that.
8.
Huh?
The flesh can get very low.
Yeah. So readability, okay, and things like that. So you can refer to that. Well, I think this is a great tool. I usually
Is there a word limit for that website?
it's like 5,000. I don't know. You need to check it out. So at least you can analyze.
Oh, okay. 15,000 characters.
Yeah. So you can analyze the textbook as well. So textbook analysis and things like that. Huh? Again, still, I'm in the middle of the explaining what I got here, okay? And so, core metrics explication, academic writing, and from here, the 10 studies here that I surveyed, okay? Right here, where they use the core metrics as a main tool of the investigation, okay? So I do have research papers here, and so you can take a look at it. For example, Jew, if I click on that, you can see the paper here, and so again, the same way. When you read the paper, the first thing you have to do, you have to have the framework, okay? What you want to take a look at this one. As far as the framework is concerned, if I click on the codes, you see a core matrix study framework, okay? If you click on that, well, I'm gonna read the paper. Uh, I'm gonna read the paper. Usually, undergraduate, when I notice that my student sleeps, I gave her or him a song. Can you hear? Would you like to hear about the song when you're sleepy? No? Maybe next time. So, right here, okay. Whatever that is, you need to have a framework. If you have a framework, you can save your time in reading your paper. As far as the core matrix study is concerned, context. So talking about context, developmental or naturalistic. What I meant by developmental, the study should take a look at pre and post test to look at the development or progress of the students. So if the study did that, I would call it as a developmental. Naturalistic, well, researchers collect the data, just one single point, and they would like to take a look at it. For example, a researcher would like to compare Korean and Chinese students writing persuasive essay. They only just look at one. Then I would call it naturalistic. So in my data, 16 studies, 12 conducted the naturalistic ways. Look at just one part. 4, look at pre and post war, writing 1, 2, 3, 4, and things like that. Secondly, genre. When you write, they do have genres, right? Cause and effect, definition, descriptive, narrative, opinion, argument, textbook, and things like that. In my data, among 16 studies, mostly they write descriptive expository or opinion, argument, and things like that, or narrative. And narrative is quite overlap with the descriptive. What do you think? Can you notice the difference between narrative writing and descriptive writing?
Usually the tense.
Yeah. Mhm. So
First person, second person.
yeah. So I need to stay here, and so look at textbook, okay? And talking about the nationality, I got China, Korea, Spanish. What I'm talking about? I'm talking about this one. In the file, those studies, okay? And so I conceptualized first before I read the article, and then okay, let me go to cause again. And so nationality, and I looked at the participants. So sixth graders, seventh graders, middle school, and university, and like that. And here I do have research, okay? So what 16 studies have found out. And under the research section, I provide the connective, descriptive, the one you saw before. So all of the co-matrix indices are coded right here, okay? And so under the connectives, click on that, we see this one. Studies found out that descriptive, yeah, studies found out that like that. And the final conceptual framework is the sample size, the writing sample size. So uh, 3 studies collected 20 under 20 writing samples, and most of the studies look at under 100 writing samples. This one can give you a lot of meanings. We can pursue a lot of questions here. Okay, let's take a look at this one first. Context. What you want to know among the core matrix indices, you want to know whether differences are there between developmental and naturalistic. In other words, developmental group point out such indices as proficiency, whereas naturalistic group point out such indices as a sign of acquisition or sign of development. So you can ask like that. Or you can ask a question like, let's say, okay, is there a difference between opinion writing and descriptive writing in terms of indicators from comatrix? Are you with me?
Yeah.
These are critical ones, okay? And regarding the conceptual framework, where did I get it? Well, right here, let's complexity studies. If you click on the complexity studies, I have 346 articles or books about complexity. and you see some are coded well, and you see some are nothing. And you can, if you prefer, you can look at it like that. So no codings but data, or if you click on the code, the most coding one in my data, and so Saldana, Shein, and things like that. Where?
So this is all on a file that you uploaded on Sunday?
In NVivo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Papers. Related papers. So you can click on it and you can read one, okay? And so you see the year over, you see the code here, and recently, Ortega is one of the most famous guy here. Ortega, Maltega, Galtega. I'm sorry. You do not follow. You do not. You hate my jokes, okay? Because you do not understand Korean. Do you understand what is the meaning of Ortega, Maltega, Galtega in Korean? Ortega, are you coming? Galtega, are you going? Maltega, nothing? Sorry. Sorry. Anyway, so as far as the complexity is concerned, you see a whole bunch of the relevant data here. And so I read this one. Where are the codings here? The codings, obviously you can go to the coding here. And so if you go to the coding, you saw this one, and future studies right here. I coded their advices like that. Future studies talk about automatic assessment, automatically identify from function mappings, classroom-oriented writing class and reference. Advice coming from whom? I can take a look at it, and the who said that? Bingo. So this is the recent one, okay? The Routledge Handbook of Second Language Acquisition and Writing, ROSA, blah, blah, blah. And I think the published year is last year. So what they say is that without denying the relevance of controlled laboratory type writing research, the failure of many SLA-oriented writing studies to situate their research designs within some language curriculum not only reduces the external validity of their findings, but also on the potential pedagogical and blah, 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 things like that. So if you look at this one, the future studies, you can see many wise advices from the previous studies, okay? And so I read this one, and I think about what to do from now on. Before, they talk about the effectiveness of written corrective feedback, but here, the handbook, what they say is, okay, we know that written corrective feedback is effective, but we do not know is about the way students process their feedback and how such kind of feedback processes do affect their writing acquisition. Okay? So, based upon that claim, I set up the framework like that. Okay? So, right here, what I call writing up. When I'm writing up WCF results, I can refer to this one, and I do have a direction. So, although I do have many things more to explain about this one and more elaborated such, because time is limited here, I have to call it a day. Okay. Okay.
Thank you. 수고했습니다.